Very good morning. Actually, in my previous class, we solved 2012 question paper problem on journal. By that, totally we have solved around 8 question paper problems on journal. We have solved around 8 question paper problems. Okay. Today we are going to start with next phase of accounting, that is ledger. As we all know about accounting cycle, it consists 5 phases. First phase is business transaction. Second phase is a journal. Third phase is ledger. Fourth phase is a trial balance. And the fifth phase is final account. So today we'll discuss about third phase of accounting, that is preparation of ledger account. Before that, in 2 minutes, just will revise journal. What is a journal? Journal, it is a book in which day-to-day transactions are recorded in chronological order. That particular book is known as journal. It is a book of prime entry or it is a book of original entry, and it is base for preparation of ledger accounts. Here, as we all know that this particular book is having a specified format where 5 columns will come. First column is meant for recording date of the transaction. Second column is meant for particulars. Third column is meant for ledger folio. Fourth column is meant for debit amount column. And fifth column is meant for credit amount column. Yes? Okay. Here, in this particular book, we need to record all business transactions in chronological order. That is, in sequence, we need to record the transaction, or in the order of occurrence of the transaction, we need to record the transaction. That particular book is called as what? It is called as journal. While passing journal entries, very important thing is we must be able to analyze or process the transaction. We have solved around 8 problems, and in each problem we went across around 10 to 11 transactions. We were analyzing each and every transactions. No, how we were analyzing the transactions? We were finding 2 accounts in that transaction or more than 2 accounts in that transaction. Later we were finding those 2 accounts are belongs to which category. Then later, based on the situation or circumstance, we were applying debit and credit rules of accounting to that particular transaction. Understood? Like this we used to analyze the transaction. And in particulars column, in the first line we used to write the name of the account is debited, and in the second line we used to write the name of the account is credited using word called to, and in the third line we used to write narration. What is narration? Narration is a short summary of the transaction which explains why particular account is debited and why particular account is credited. That particular summary short explanation is called as narration. Understood? And very important thing is, once you passed all the journal entries, you should make total of both the debit and credit column, and at the end the total of both the columns must be same. Understood? And here, this journal, it is a part of bookkeeping. It is journal and ledger, these are part of bookkeeping. Especially journal, it is a major part of bookkeeping. See here, it is just maintaining the data about each and every business transaction. By preparing journal, will not get the result of the business, like whether firm is running in a profit or it is running in a loss. But in order to ascertain that profit or loss of the business, we need to maintain proper records of the business transaction, and it is done with the help of what? It is done with the help of this journal. Okay, so today we'll start with third phase of accounting, that is ledger. How many phases will come in accounting cycle? 5 phases will come. First phase is business transaction. Second phase is a journal. Third phase is ledger. Fourth phase is a trial balance, and fifth phase is preparation of final accounts. That is nothing but profit and loss account and balance sheet. So today we are going to discuss about third phase of accounting, that is preparation. Third phase of accounting cycle, that is preparation of ledger accounts. Okay. We already discussed about account. What is the meaning of account? Account is a format in which summarized information relating to a particular person or particular asset or particular property is recorded. That particular state, that particular format is called as what? It is called as account. I told you people that account, it is there in which shape? It is there in T shape, alphabet T, which is divided into two sides like debit side and credit side. Left hand side is known as debit side and right hand side is known as credit side. Understood? So today we are going to discuss about a concept called a ledger account. Let's see what is the meaning of ledger, what is the meaning of ledger account, and why we need to prepare ledger account, what are its features, then what is the difference between journal and ledger. These all things we'll discuss in today's video. Okay. See here, in the book of journal, we are going to record n number of transactions. As we all know that business means every day hundreds of transactions or thousands of transactions are going to take place. And we are going to record those all transactions in the book of journal in chronological order, in sequence. We are going to record those all transactions in the book of journal, in the book of journal. But while recording transactions in the book of journal, we are not going to record all similar kind of transactions at one place. We will not take care of all similar kind of transactions. We won't record those all transactions at one place. So they will appear at different places in the book of journal. Due to this reason, we may not be able to ascertain the actual result of the business. Due to this reason, we may not be able to ascertain the actual result of the business. Meaning, for example, there are 10 transactions and we passed journal entries for those 10 transactions, right? So in front of us, there are 10 journal entries. N number of times cash account has appeared in the book of journal, but we not recorded all cash account transactions at one place. They are appeared at different places. They are appeared at different places. We'll take one more example. Company has sold goods n number of times, but in the book of journal, all sales will not appear at one place. Company has purchased raw materials at n number of times, but all purchases will not appear at one places. They will appear at different places because in the book of journal, we are going to record transactions in chronological order. For example, we purchased raw material on 1st of January and later we purchased it on 10th of January. In between, certain transactions are taken place. That is the reason we are not able to, or we were not able to record all purchases at one place. Understood? So when you are not able to record all similar kind of transactions at one place, then it becomes difficult for you to ascertain the result of the business. Understood? For that purpose, we are going to prepare another book. That book is called as ledger. What is ledger? See here, ledger is a book. Ledger is a book in which we are going to record all similar kind of transactions at one place. It is a book in which we are going to record all similar kind of transactions at one place. Understood? By that easily we can ascertain the financial result of the business. That particular book is called as what? It is called as ledger. It is called as ledger account. See here, we paid money n number of times, we received money and n number of times, then how will get to know the final balance of that cash? Yes or no? So in order to get the final balance of cash, what we should do? We should write all receipts and payments of cash at one place under the head called cash account. Under the head called cash account. Business means n number of times we will pay cash, n number of times we will receive the cash, but we should record those all transactions at one place. No, then only we'll get to know what is the cash balance. What is the cash balance? So that particular thing is done with the help of a book called ledger. Understood? So what is the meaning of ledger? Ledger is a book in which all similar kind of transactions are recorded at one place under a particular head. Under a particular head. Understood? You wish to know total sales You wish to know total sales of business. With the help of journal, it is not possible for you to know the total sales of business because you have not recorded sales at one place in the book of journal. So for that purpose, what you should prepare? You should prepare ledger. By that, you can record all sales at one place. By that, you will get to know the total sales of the firm. Similarly, purchases, similarly, salary, similarly, wages. You are having hundreds of employees and you have paid wages to employees hundreds of times and they are appeared at different places in the book of journal. By that you won't get to know that how much wages is paid and all. Understood? So what you should do, you should record those similar kind of transactions. I mean all transactions related to wages at one place under a head called wages account. By that you will get to know exactly how much wages you have paid. Understood? So here ledger is nothing but classifying the transaction. There are seven functions of accounting. First one is identifying, second one is measuring, third one is recording, fourth one is classifying, fifth one is summarizing, sixth one is analyzing and interpreting, and seventh one is communicating. So here third function called recording, it deals with journal, and fourth function called classifying, it deals with ledger. So here classifying means we are going to bring all similar kind of transactions at one place under a particular head. That particular process or that particular account is called as what? It is called as ledger. So ledger is a book in which we are going to record all similar kind of transactions at one place. So see here the meaning of ledger. It is a book in which transactions of similar nature are recorded at one place in order to ascertain the financial result of the business. It is a book in which all similar kind of transactions, like all purchases should be recorded at one place, all sales should be recorded at another place, then all salary should be recorded at another place. So here it is a book in which transactions of similar nature, all similar kind of transactions are going to be recorded at one place in order to ascertain the result of the business. That particular book is called as what? It is called as ledger. Ledger is nothing but account. Understood? So here ledger is a book in which we are going to have n number of accounts called ledger accounts. Understood? For example, sales account in which we are going to record all the sales. Understood? And cash account in which we are going to record all cash receipts and cash payments. Purchases account in which we are going to record all purchases made by the company. Understood? So ledger is a book in which transactions of similar nature are recorded at one place in order to ascertain the financial status or result of the business. That particular book is known as what? It is known as ledger. So let's see what are the features of ledger. What are the features of ledger? So these are certain important features of ledger. Here first one is it is a book of final entry. Actually journal is a book of prime entry, but ledger is a book of final entry, meaning once you record a transaction in the book of journal, from journal it will be shifted to ledger. Later that particular transaction disappears. That particular transaction disappears. I mean, again we are not going to record similar kind of transactions individually in any of the books of account. Understood? Here book of final entry means the transaction is going to appear finally in the book of ledger. Later it is not going to appear anywhere in the books of accounts of a business. Understood? So features of ledger, here first one, it is a book of final entry. Understood? It means all business transactions are recorded in journal and finally those are posted to ledger or transferred to ledger. That is first feature. And second important feature of ledger is it is prepared with the help of journal, meaning journal is always base for preparation of ledger. So second feature is what? It is prepared with the help of journal. Then what is the third feature? Third feature is it is base for preparation of trial balance. It is base for preparation of trial balance, meaning journal is base for preparation of ledger and ledger is base for preparation of trial balance. The next one is Ledger, it gives information about a particular person or particular thing at one place. Meaning, in the book of ledger, you are going to get complete information about particular person or particular thing at one place. For example, there is a ledger account called as Pradeep's account. Understood? So you will get to know the status of Pradeep by seeing that particular ledger account, meaning he is your debtor or he is your creditor. You will understand this particular thing only by seeing ledger account, meaning here ledger, it gives complete information about a particular person or about a particular thing at one place. That is one more important feature. Then the last feature of ledger is it is having a systematic format. How? Journal is having a systematic format which consists of 5 columns. Like that, ledger is having a systematic format which is divided into 2 sides, such as debit side and credit side. And here left hand side is known as debit side and right hand side is known as credit side. Understood? If you prepared that account in T shape in your book, then the left hand side of that particular account is called as debit side, and the right hand side of that particular account is called as what? It is called as credit side. So these are 5 important features of journal. First feature is it is a book of final entry, meaning first transaction will be recorded in the book of journal. Finally, it will be transferred to ledger. Second one is it is prepared with the help of journal. Third one is it is based for preparation of trial balance. And fourth one is it gives information about particular person or thing at one place. And last one is it is having a systematic format which is divided into 2 sides, such as debit side and credit side. So it is all about meaning of ledger and features of ledger. Let us move to next aspect. Usually this particular question appears for 5 marks. They will ask like explain the difference between journal and ledger. Sure short, you people are going to get one difference for 5 marks. It may be difference between accounting and bookkeeping, or it may be difference between journal and ledger. So you should be perfect with both the difference. So sure short, you are going to get one 5 mark theory question on differences. Understood? Okay. So let us discuss what are the differences between this journal and ledger. What is the first difference? Yeah, here first difference is, as we all know that journal, it is a book of first entry, it is a book of prime entry. But what about ledger? Ledger, it is a book of final entry. So what is the first difference? First difference is journal is a book of prime entry or first entry, ledger is a book of final entry. Okay, yes. Then second difference is journal is a subsidiary book. Journal is a subsidiary book, meaning journals are having certain substitutes. They are having certain substitutes, meaning if you are not able to maintain a book called journal, then you can maintain a book called subsidiary books, meaning they are having substitutes. But ledger, it is a principal book which is not having any substitute. So keep in mind, journal is a subsidiary book and it is not compulsory. It is not compulsory. No need to compulsorily prepare this journal. But ledger, it is a principal book which is a mandatory. Which is mandatory. Every company must maintain a book called ledger account. And it is not necessary that every companies must maintain journal. Understood? So just keep in mind, journal is optional, ledger is compulsory. Understood? Ledger is principal book. Okay, which is not optional. Okay, let us move to third difference. In case of journal, transactions are recorded on a daily basis. In case of journal, transactions are recorded on daily basis. See here, in journal, in this book, transactions are recorded on a day-to-day basis, jor, which means on up-to-date basis. But in case of ledger, transactions are recorded on periodical basis. On periodical basis in the sense they are recorded. I mean, transactions will be recorded in the book of ledger once in a week or once in a 15 days. Yeah, so we deals with journal on a day-to-day basis, but we deals with ledger on periodical basis, like once in 8 days, once in 15 days. Yes, like that. Okay. So let us move to next transaction. Yeah. Sorry, not next transaction. Next difference. Fourth one. Yeah. In book of journal, we are going to write narration for each and every transaction. Yes. What is the next difference? In this book, narration is written for every transaction. What is narration? Narration is a short summary of the transaction. So for each and every transaction, we are going to record narration in the book of journal. But if it comes to ledger, we are not going to write narration for the transaction. We won't write narration in the book of ledger. We will write narration only in the book of journal. So for the difference, it is all about narration. What is the difference? In the book of journal, narration will be written for each and every transaction, but in the book of ledger, narration is not written. Okay. Then fifth difference is yeah, the way in which we will record the transaction or the process of recording the transaction in the book of journal is called as what? It is called as journalizing. But the process of recording transactions in the book of ledger is called as posting. Is called as posting. Yes, here fifth difference. The process of recording day-to-day transactions in the book of journal is called as journalizing, and the process of recording transactions in the book of ledger is called as what? It is called as posting. Understood? Okay. Then sixth difference is in the book of journal or journal, it will not provide complete information about a particular aspect at one place. Meaning, you won't get the status of a person or status of particular thing at one place in the book of journal. Understood? Because information related to a particular aspect will not appear at one place in the book of journal. That is the reason it will not provide complete information about a aspect at one place. But in the book of ledger, we are going to write all similar kind of transactions at one place. That is the reason it provides complete information at one particular place. For example, n number of times cash accounts appears in the book of journal. By that will not get to know what is the cash balance of the firm, but if you referred ledger accounts, no, you will get to know the complete information or clear picture about cash balance of the firm, because all cash account transactions will be recorded at one place in the book of ledger. Understood? That is the sixth difference. And seventh difference is journal. It is a base for preparation of ledger account. Journal, it is a base for preparation of ledger account. But what about ledger? It is a base for preparation of trial balance. It is a base for preparation of trial balance. So seventh difference is journal, it is a base for preparation of ledger account, and here ledger, it is a base for preparation of trial balance or final accounts. Actually trial balance, actually trial balance will become base for final account. It is a process. Business transaction will be based for journal, journal will be based for ledger, ledger will be based for trial balance, and trial balance will become base for what? Final accounts. Okay. Let us move to last transaction, that is eighth one. In case of journal, both the aspects of each transactions are recorded at one place. In case of journal, both the aspects of each and every transaction are recorded at one place. But in case of ledger, only one aspect of each transaction will be recorded in this particular book. In this particular book, meaning, for example, goods sold for cash. Goods sold for cash. What is the journal entry? Cash account debited to sales account, right? So both cash and sales will appear at one place in the book of journal. But in case of ledger, cash account, that information will appear at one place, and sales information will be appear at another place. Meaning here in the book of ledger, only one aspect of each transaction is recorded. For example, in cash account, you are going to record only information about cash. You are not going to record information about sales or purchases. For sales, there will be a separate account called sales account. For purchases, there will be a separate account called purchases account. But same thing will not happen in case of journal. In case of journal, we are not going to record all different aspects at different places. Understood? We'll be recording all the aspects of each and every transactions at one place in the book of journal. So these are some of the important differences between the book called journal and ledger. Understood? Very simple differences, and you should keep in mind minimum 5 to 6 differences, because this particular question is going to appear for 5 marks. What is the first difference? Journal is a book of prime entry, ledger is a book of final entry. What is the second difference? Journal is a subsidiary book which is optional, not compulsory. Ledger is principal book which is mandatory. Then third one is we deals with the journal on daily basis, but we deals with ledger on periodical basis. And here in case of journal, narration will be written for each and every business transaction, but in case of ledger, narration will not be written for any of the transaction. Then the process of recording transactions in the book of journal is called as journalizing, and the process of recording transactions in the book of ledger is called as posting. Then sixth one is, yeah, it will not provide complete information about a particular aspect at one place. Which one? Journal. Two aspects will appear at one place, that is fine, but you won't get to know the status of those aspects. Like you wish to know what is the cash balance. By seeing journal, will you get to know the cash balance? No, because they won't appear at one places. But by seeing ledger, you will get clear information about a particular aspect, because it provides complete information about particular aspect at one place. Understood? So seventh one is, it is based for preparation of ledger accounts, but ledger is based for preparation of trial balance. Then last one is, in case of journal, both the aspects of each transactions are recorded at one place, but in case of ledger, only one aspect of every transaction will be recorded in this particular book. So it is all about difference between journal and ledger. Let us move towards next aspect, that is format of ledger. What is the next aspect? It is a format of ledger. Okay, yes. See here, ledger is nothing but account. It is account, and it is divided into two sides. It is divided into two sides. Which are those two sides? Which are those two sides? See here, one is a debit side and another one is a credit side. Here, left hand side of an account is known as debit side, and right hand side of an account is known as credit side. Understood? So it is ledger account. Which account? It is ledger account. Here I gave an example of XYZ account, which is divided into two sides like debit side and credit side. Debit side and credit side. Okay, yes. And first of all, ledger is divided into two sides, such as debit side and credit side. Each side you are going to find four columns. How many columns you are going to find? You are going to find four columns each side. Yes. Which are those four columns? First column is a date, second column is particulars, third column is a JF. There, how you used to write ledger folio in journal, no? Like that, here we should write journal folio in ledger. And fourth column is meant for amount in rupees. First column is meant for date, second column is meant for particulars, third column is meant for journal folio, fourth column is meant for amount, like this. Hmm. Again, you will find similar kind of problems on the credit side also. I told you people that it is divided into two sides, and each side you are going to find four columns. Understood? And both the side name of the columns will be remains the same. First column is meant for a date, second column is meant for particulars, third column is meant for journal folio, fourth column is meant for amount. Similarly, credit side also date, particulars, journal folio, and amount. So this is what this is format of ledger. Now, how we should record transactions in the book of ledger? How we should record transactions in the book of ledger? See here. See here. Let us take one example. By that, you will get some ideas. You will get some ideas. Yes, we'll take one transaction. We'll take one transaction. Just a minute. Yes. I will stop sharing this particular screen. I will take Word file. By that, I can show you people how to prepare ledger account. I will just stop sharing this PPT. Yeah, I will share one Word file with you. Yes. Now I will show you people how to prepare this ledger account. Yes. So we are working on format of ledger account, format of ledger account, format of ledger account. Yes. Okay. Before making format of ledger account, first you should write the name of the account in the middle of the line. What you should do? You should write the name of the account in the middle of the line. For example, name of the account is Pradeep's account. What is the name of the account? It is Pradeep's account. Okay. Yes. On the left hand side of an account, on the left hand side of an account, you should write the abbreviation of debit. You should write the abbreviation of debit. Understood? You should write the abbreviation of debit. And on the right hand side of an account, you should write the abbreviation of credit. See here, before making format, first you should write the name of the account in the center of the line. Then on the left hand side of an account, you should write the abbreviation of debit. And on the right hand side of an account, you should write the abbreviation of credit. Now, how many columns you are going to find in case of ledger account? You are totally going to find around 8 columns. Yeah, 4 columns on the debit side and 4 columns on the credit side. Yes, just a minute. We will find 4 columns on the debit side and 4 columns on the credit side. Yes, okay. Just a minute. So totally we will find around 8 columns, around 8 columns in the book of journal, in the book of journal. Okay, here totally how many columns will come? Totally 8 columns will come. 4 columns on the debit side and 4 columns on the credit side. Here, first column is meant for date. First column is meant for date. Second column is meant for particulars. Second column is meant for particulars. Just yeah. Here, first column is meant for date of the transaction. Second column is meant for particulars. Third column is meant for JF. JF stands for journal folio. And fourth column is meant for amount. Amount in rupees. Amount in rupees. So, same columns will repeat. Same columns will repeat on the credit side of an account. On the credit side of an account. Okay. Same 4 columns will appear on the credit side of an account. Just a minute, just a minute. So first column is meant for what? Meant for date. Second column is meant for particulars. Third column is meant for journal folio. And fourth column is meant for amount in rupees. Amount in rupees. This is what? This is the format of ledger account. Keep in mind, before writing the format, first we should write the name of the account in the middle of the line. And on the left hand side, we should write the abbreviation of debit. And on the right hand side, we should write the abbreviation of credit. Understood? And each side, how many columns you are going to find? Each side, you are going to find 4 columns. First column is meant for a date. Second column is meant for particulars, third column is meant for journal folio, and fourth column is meant for amount. Similarly, on the credit side, date, particulars, journal folio, and amount. Okay. Now, yeah, actually, like this, we are going to have format of ledger account, right? This is the format of ledger account. Okay. Now, just I will show you people that how to record the transactions in the book of journal, sorry, in the book of ledger. Here, date column, it is meant for recording the date of the transaction. It is meant for what? It is meant for recording the date of the transaction. Okay. So, we'll write one transaction over here. We'll write one transaction over here. Transaction is paid cash to Pradeep, paid cash to Pradeep rupees 5,000. Paid cash to Pradeep rupees 5,000. Okay. First, what we should do, we should pass the journal entry. Yeah, we'll write the date. It is on 1st January 2019. Paid cash to Pradeep rupees 5,000. This is the transaction. Okay. So first we should pass the journal entry. What is the journal entry? Journal entry is Pradeep's account debit. Pradeep's account debit to cash account. Why Pradeep's account is debited? Paid cash to Pradeep in the sense Pradeep is the receiver. So Pradeep's account is debited and cash goes out of the business. So cash account should be credited. Understood? Okay. So this is what first you should process the transaction. While preparing ledger account, no need to pass the journal entry, but internally you need to pass that journal entry or you need to analyze that transaction. So by passing this journal entry, you got to know that how many accounts will come. Two accounts will come. One is Pradeep's account and another one is a cash account. Another one is which account? Another one is a cash account. Just a minute. Yes. Another one is cash account. So here, first we should write abbreviation of debit on the left hand side, right? And in the middle, we should write the name of the account. That is which account? It is a cash account. Now on the right hand side, you should write abbreviation of credit. You should write abbreviation of credit. Okay, yes. See here. Here, as per this particular transaction, we need to prepare two ledger account. One is Pradeep's account and another one is a cash account. So first we should prepare two ledger accounts. Understood? By passing journal entry, you will get to know which all ledger accounts you need to prepare. So you need to prepare those respective ledger accounts. Later, we should write that transaction in the book of ledger. Here, what is the journal entry? Pradeep's account debit to cash account. So here is Pradeep account and this particular account is showing which balance? Debit balance. It is debited, no? So Pradeep's account debit. So we should move on the debit side of Pradeep's account. We should write the date of the transaction, right? We should write the date of the transaction, right? In particulars column, what we should write? We should write the name of the account is credited. Name of the account is credited. See here, Pradeep's account debit to cash account. Pradeep's account debit to cash account. Journal folio column will be nil. Ledger amount column is how much? 5,000. Understood? Pradeep's account debit. So since Pradeep's account is debited, go to Pradeep's account on the debit side, write the date of the transaction and in particulars column, write the name of the account is credited using word called to. So which account is credited? Cash account is credited. Understood? Okay. Now, actually every transactions will affect minimum two accounts. So here one is it is affected Pradeep's account and another time which account it is going to affect now? Cash account. Yes, in this particular journal entry, cash account is debited or it is credited? Pradeep's account is debited, cash account is credited. So move on the credit side of cash account and write the date of the transaction, right? Write the date of the transaction and in particulars column, write the name of the account is write the name of the account is debited. Which account is debited? Pradeep's account is debited. Pradeep's account is debited. Understood? Amount column how much? Rupees 5,000. Say here Pradeep's account debit. So on that is the reason on the debit side of Pradeep's account, we are written to cash account. See here, Pradeep's account is debited. Now Pradeep's account. So on the debit side of Pradeep's account, we should write the date of the transaction and in particulars column, we should write the name of the account is credited. Understood? And here cash account is credited. So in cash account, on the credit side of this cash account, we should write the date of the transaction and in particulars column, we should write the name of the account is debited. Which account is debited? Pradeep's account is debited. Actually Similarly, while preparing ledger account, on the debit side, you should use a term called to. And on the credit side, you should use a term called by. Understood? On the debit side, we should use a term called what? We should use term called to. And on the credit side, we should use a term called by. We should use a term called by. So it is how we should record transactions in the book of ledger. First, we should pass the journal entry. Later, we should post this particular journal entry to ledger. Recording transactions in the book of ledger with the help of journal is called as what? It is called as posting. So it is all about format of journal. In my next video, we'll discuss clearly about these all columns. Understood? Yes. So keep in mind, every account is divided into two sides, debit side and credit side, and each side you are going to find four columns. Understood? Further things we'll discuss it very clearly in my next class, and we'll start solving problems on ledger account in my next class. Yes, let us end the class now. Thank you so much.